Yeah. Hello there, my name is Jack First. I work for the Cellar Trust, which is a mental health charity, and I'm here today to tell you about our hotbeds and secondly about our courses. I'm hoping by the end of this little video to encourage you to come out and come onto one of our courses. So what exactly is a hotbed? You just pan round here please. Can I just point out that today's the 30th of May, and for to say that we've got all this produce at this time of the year is pretty good going, but it's all down to these hotbeds here. Let me show you what's going on for May. You just come down here. So basically this is a system that goes back at least 2,000 years. We know the Romans were doing this. Probably they got it off this method off the Egyptians, but it could go back a lot further than that. But the basic principle is this. Here we've got a layer of manure up to maybe 18 inches or 2 feet deep, but it's actually a mixture of leaves and manure. Don't be put off at this stage if you think you can't get enough manure, because there's plenty of other organic materials that we can use besides, which I'll talk about later on. Now, above this layer of leaves and manure and organic matter, as you can see here, is a layer of it's the growing medium, the compost. And what we've done is here we've just raised up this frame here so we could see what's going on here. So we've got the manure, about 6 inches, 7 inches of a growing medium. This growing medium, by the way, is actually last year's hotbeds, which is rotted down to give us a lovely compost to grow things in. Above this we have what's called a light, based on the old Dutch light. The best way of explaining this is as follows. The manure gives off heat, which warms up the compost below, so the roots are growing in a nice warm environment. But not only that, this light, by adjusting it slightly, you can either have it low down initially when you've got very young plants, and then raising it as they grow, and then ultimately taking it off altogether. These here have actually been taken off for a couple of months now. The other point of this, if you can imagine, the best way of explaining that, if you can imagine you're in bed with a duvet. Imagine heat coming off your body. This is the duvet, keeping all that nice warm air around you. So you don't want, this is an important piece of equipment. You adjust it according to the weather. Okay. The other thing I'd like to point out is just to let you know, we're in a part of the country here that's probably got one of the worst growing climates. We're in the Aire Valley. We're 250 miles north of the south coast. Very poor light. It's very poor soil. Everything is against us. We've got hills, you might be able to see them in the background here, either side of us down in this Aire Valley, and consequently you get cold air, and with it these winds. So you see we have to do a lot of protection, but even so, look at the result. The French, just go over here a minute. We've been doing quite a bit of harvesting here. I just want to show you the kind of yields we're talking about here. Harvesting here, as you can see here, the carrots have been taken out and need to tidy up a little bit, but probably next week we'll put another crop in here. But to give you some insight into the kind of yields that we're getting here, these have been, like I said, sown in January the 29th. They have been thinned, but because the ground is so rich, just check this out. Look. Absolutely loads of carrots here. There you go. It'd be interesting to weigh this row, and then I could calculate what the acre rate would be. But let's go down here a bit. So here we have another part of the hotbed where we had some early produce, and I've gone in with courgettes. And we're actually harvesting a few last week and a few this week, but check it out. We've got, just look at the plants. They look healthy and they're very, very productive. I think that's it. let's go on down in. Okay, so all this land that you've just seen now in this shot just before you now, up to the hotbeds over there, is around about a quarter of an acre. And what we've had over in the last 8 years, there's been a hotbed on every part of this piece of ground here. And what it's clearly done is raise the potential of what this ground can produce. It was very marginal, and as you can see now, it's very, very productive. And I think that's because it's quite obvious when you've got a hotbed going, when you're dismantling it, it's absolutely teeming with countless worms. Now these worms, they're producing worm casts in the growing medium, in the manure below, and in the soil below that. So clearly the whole site has been enriched. Yep, this is just to remind you that this is the 30th of May, but we have been harvesting since March. Okay, thank you very much indeed for watching this video. If you've been inspired, then please get in touch with the Cellar Trust, where there's all these details about the various courses that we're running down here about the hotbeds. Thank you very much indeed for watching us. Cheerio.